Joe, thank you very much. In the invite, I was a ninja. Now I'm a guru. I appreciate it. So this is social media for photographers. You may be wondering, hold on here. Here we go. You may be wondering who the heck is Mike Spear. I'm the social media manager at Corbis. I've been here for a little over a year and a half, working out of the Seattle office. Prior to Corbis, I was at a little beverage company here in Seattle called the Jones Soda Company. I was the marketing director there. We actually did a ton of social media there, so I got a lot of experience with social at Jones as well. I'm on Twitter all day, every day. I'm at Spearsif. That's my last name with SIF on the end. Come follow me. I encourage you. I talk about social media. I talk about digital marketing. Sometimes I talk about beer. You can see me there on the right. That's me right before I asked my girlfriend to marry me last year in Northern California. Also, feel free to email me. There's my email address, mike.spear@corbis.com. I'm going to cover a lot of information today. You may have questions that go outside of what you're able to ask at the end, so don't hesitate to shoot me an email. If you have to call me, there's my phone number. That's my office number, so feel free. You may be wondering, what is social media? I think this graphic on the right there really, it kind of frames it up. It's a bit of a mess right now. There's a lot of networks out there. There's a lot of different of companies vying for your social attention, and I think that graphic kind of sums it up a bit. But I pulled this quote from Heidi Cohen, who's a bit of a digital marketing guru, and she says, social media are the platforms that enable the interactive web by engaging users to participate in, comment on, and create content as means of communicating with their social graph. You know, that's a little confusing, but really I like to think of it as social media are the tools, the online tools, the online networks that allow you to share content, whether that just be what you're doing on a daily basis or imagery or video with people in your online community. Here's our agenda for today. I'm going to talk a little bit about what Corbis is doing in social media. I'll talk about a comparison of different platforms, not all the platforms that are out there, but ones that we tend to use most often here at Corbis, and ones that I think that you'll be able to use to good effect. I'll talk a little bit about advertising in social media. It's kind of a necessary evil these days, as I put it. I'll do a couple of demonstrations, one of a scheduling platform called Hootsuite, and the other one of an analytics platform via Facebook called Facebook Insights. I'll have a slide of recommendations. I will show an example of a Corbis contributor that's doing a really great job in social, and then we'll have time for some questions. So when Joe and I ran this by our legal team, they insisted that we put this slide in here and read this, so bear with me. The opinions I express are my own and do not represent the point of view of Corbis. I'm providing this information generally, and you should not take it as explicit advice. There are a number of risks that go along with promoting your work on social media sites, and it is up to you to determine whether you are willing to take them. Really, if you're pulling anything from this slide, I would encourage you, before you get started in social, on any social platform out there, to read their terms of service. There generally is a link in the footer of any homepage that you can go read. Take special attention to what they do with your content after you post it on a social media site. If you have a lawyer and are willing to pay to have them review, that can help too, because there's a lot of legal jargon in there. But definitely review terms of service. Okay, let's jump into what Corbis does in social media. Here's a bit of a social overview. It's a little wordy, but I'll slog through it. Our philosophy is to leverage peer-to-peer platforms to engage with customers and encourage word of mouth around our brands, ultimately driving towards our business and marketing goals. Really, you know, we're trying to engage this Corbis community online. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we are a business, so we would like that conversion or sale. But there's also a sense of getting a community together that are like-minded, able to discuss things, able to discuss our website, and able to discuss kind of the philosophy behind Corbis. As with any social site or any social presence, there is a voice. It's professional, it's straightforward, it's authoritative and concise. I like to inject sometimes funny in there. I think when I joined up with Corbis, it was a bit serious, and so I think injecting that bit of humor really helps the community to relate. What are our strategies? Keeping our communities informed and engaged. Building a community of quality over quantity followers. Really these days anybody can go out there and pay to build a community, whether that be on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. But really sometimes those followers or those communities end up being not as quality as you'd like and more just numbers. We include content from outside our brand universe where possible. I really think that's important. If I sit there and blab about Corbis all day on our channels, it's going to turn people off eventually. So I try to include third-party content. I try to include interesting things from the world of photography whenever possible. We try to be visual with our messaging, again, whenever possible. You know, we're a visual brand, and so I think that really lends itself to being visual with messaging. It's not just a status update or some copy. We try to include imagery, photography, you know, illustrations to a certain degree whenever we can. And then we like to use social in all of our marketing activities. Whenever we launch a campaign or a new program or a project, I sit down with our marketing managers and figure out where social can be applied and where social can kind of move the needle forward with that campaign. What are our goals? Quality community growth and engagement. Like I said before, you really want a quality community. You don't want just a bunch of fluff in there. So you want participation in promotions and traffic to our sites. I mean, really, that's the ultimate goal, is to get people on the Corbis website, and I think social is a great tool to do that. And then customer satisfaction. More and more, Twitter and Facebook are becoming places where customers can get on there and express their admiration or sometimes frustration with your site, with the process, and you're able to engage them and answer questions and address issues that may arise. What's our approach and kind of what is our content? We talk about products, we talk about contributors like yourselves, and we talk about packaging updates, website updates. We talk about promotions. Like I said, third-party content, industry news, and different highlights from the industry. We will occasionally engage in some social activities, games, type things, and we do that more with some of our other brands rather than Corbis, but it's a great way to engage the community. And then we try to maximize the capabilities of the different platforms to reach our goals. You'll see in the presentation today that each of these platforms and each of these different social channels has strengths and has weaknesses. And so it's up to us to kind of figure out what best fits and what best helps us accomplish goals. I'm not going to go through this slide piece by piece, but it's really important before you start to have a content strategy, and here's ours. It's a mix of products and promotions with industry news, highlights, and shares from other creative sources. So, you know, we try to keep to this on a daily basis for our social channels, and it's important to know that before you jump on there and just start blasting stuff out to the community. I think cadence is really important. You should kind of have an idea for how often you want to push content out. It could be as little as once a week on Facebook. It could be as much as 10 times a day on Twitter. And I think it's important to find an equilibrium when you get started and stick to that cadence and figure out what works best for you. I'm going to run through a quick few slides on our current social presence and the different platforms that we participate in. First is Twitter. We launched that in July of 2009. We've got a little over 16,000 followers, and we tweet about 5 to 10 times a day. Facebook, we launched in August of 2009. We've got a little over 24,000 likes on our Facebook page, and we post a couple to 3 times per day. On Tumblr, we've got a number of different Tumblr accounts. We launched one earlier in 2012. We launched one just a couple weeks ago, and we have another one launching in February. We do about 4 posts per month for one of our Twitter accounts, and then the other one we do as many as 3 posts per day. And I'll be dialing down into Tumblr a little bit more here in a minute. YouTube, we launched it back in 2008. We've got a handful of subscribers, not a huge amount. When we have videos, we load them. It tends to take a lot of time to generate a good video for YouTube, at least the level of video that we'd like. So when I have videos from our creative team, I'll be sure to post them. Google+, I'm sure everybody's heard of Google+. We launched that in November of 2011. We do a couple, 2-3 posts a week, and haven't run any promotions yet. Google+ is prohibiting promotions to date, so but you should see more development on that this year. And then the Corbis blog, I'm hoping everybody here is on the line is familiar with the Corbis blog. We relaunched it with a redesign at the beginning of last year. It's based on WordPress, which is a really nice blogging platform if you're looking to launch a blog. And we do 4 to 6 posts per month on the Corbis blog. I'm going to jump in here to do a bit of a comparison of the different platforms that are out there. Like I said before, it's not going to be every platform. That would take days. But I'm going to go into 4 or 5 of the ones that we use most frequently. Twitter, we are on Twitter at Corbis Images. Come check us out. Come follow us. Some of the strengths of Twitter, they have a pretty big registered user base in 500 million users. It was interesting to see, though, that they only have 200 million active users, and those are people that actively tweet or have tweeted before. I think you'll be seeing those 500 million joining that 200 million here in the near future. It's a very engaged community, at least it is for Corbis. They're very likely to respond to messaging, and it's a great way to establish a good two-way communication, and I find that Twitter does that really well for us. Also, a strength of Twitter is they don't censor any content. Anything that you tweet on Twitter will be seen by your community. Twitter does not pull things down. They don't pick and choose what bits of content are visible to your community, which is really nice. What are some of the weaknesses? It's not as visual as the other platforms. My example there on the left is just a screenshot of our Twitter feed. You can see our tweets, 3 on the top there. Not very visual. You can put a photo in there, but people have to go and expand that tweet to see the photo. So you can see here on the right one of our tweets that has an expanded view. It does display an image quite nicely, but again, people have to go in and take an action to actually see that image. Another weakness is a steady but slow growth rate, unless you spend money. I'll go into that a little bit later. You know, our Twitter growth tends to be pretty slow if we don't have some budget applied to it. Some key insights: multiple daily tweets are a must. You should be on there really every day and putting up at least 2 to 3 tweets and engaging that community in that sense. It really does work for customer service. I'd say a majority of the customer service questions that I pass on to our CS team come from Twitter, which is great. And then promoted account ads work great to build the community, and promoted tweets help to push our campaigns. And I will be covering those in more detail, those two ad platforms in more detail in a bit. Facebook, everybody should know about Facebook. It's got 1 billion users. That could be a strength. It could be a weakness, depending on how you're kind of approaching it. But it's great for posting visual elements. I'm going to dodge forward a slide here. You can see some of the ways that images will appear within Facebook. This first example is a Facebook post with just a link in it, and you get a nice little thumbnail. Maybe not the best way to view an image on Facebook, but our second example here is a post with an uploaded image in it, and you definitely get a nice, a bigger view of that image. And I think just it's a better way to display an image on Facebook. Then my third example here is an uploaded image that's been highlighted. The highlight button is a little button that will be in the top right hand of your post, and it will actually expand that image to be the full width of your Facebook wall, which is 810 pixels. So you can see from this example, you get a nice full image, you know, within your post and on your Facebook wall. Facebook also has a great analytics platform. I'll be doing a demonstration of that later, but it'll really help you to figure out what content is working, what content doesn't work. It'll give you a nice snapshot of who your community is on Facebook and how to engage with them better. Some of the weaknesses of Facebook, EdgeRank, and I'll be covering this in more detail, but EdgeRank is Facebook's algorithm that decides what content is displayed to your community. I don't want to call it censorship, but everything that you post on Facebook is not always all visible to your community, and Facebook makes those decisions for you by using this algorithm. Another weakness is if you're running contests on Facebook, it requires an application. It's a little less nimble in that sense than Twitter. Facebook frowns upon running contests on your page without an application. In fact, they've called me before when at another job and asked me to pull down contests and threaten to cancel my page. So it's something to keep an eye on if you are running contests. A key insight to Facebook is uploading content directly to our walls. It uses Facebook's EdgeRank and boosts interactions up to 1,700% in my experience. When I showed you this example, this would be uploading content directly to a post, and so would this. So it uses that EdgeRank algorithm to really help to show your content quite a bit better to your community. So this is what EdgeRank is all about. It's an algorithm that Facebook uses to show content you like when you want to see it. So, like I said, that everything that you put up on Facebook, that you post to your page, that you put on your wall, is not always visible to your community. And they use this algorithm to decide what it is that your community will see. So it's affinity times weight times time decay. And here's that in a little bit more detail. Affinity is how much a person has come and engaged on your page. Have they liked stuff that you've posted? Have they commented on things that you've posted? Weight is the thing that they apply to different objects that you put on your page. Are you putting up videos that count a bit more than a photo, that count a bit more than a link, that count a bit more than a status? And also, what actions have people taken on your page? Have they shared your content? Have they commented on your content? Have they liked your content? And then time decay is an important indicator as well. The longer you leave a post up, the less effectiveness it has. So I read somewhere the other day that a typical Facebook post has a life of about 3 hours on Facebook. And so that's about as long as it's going to be visible to your community. So if you have a general understanding of EdgeRank, it's nice. I mean, I think the important thing is to know is that the different things that you put up on your page will have a different weight within your community, and just putting up a status update with just some copy in it is maybe not your best approach. So whenever you can, uploading content like a photo or a video is going to be very effective for you. Tumblr is kind of the darling of one of the darlings of the social media world these days. Its strengths lie in some numbers. It's got 77 million blogs going right now. It's very visual. As you can see, this example on the right is our latest our Tumblr launch that launched a couple of weeks ago. It's the go-to spot for creatives these days, and in fact their tagline is "Follow the world's creators." So I find the creative community is really taken to Tumblr and is really engaging with the content that we're putting up there. Another little tidbit that I found interesting was that Tumblr has surpassed blog as one of the most searched Google terms on Google. So I really think that speaks to how big Tumblr is getting. Some of the weaknesses of Tumblr: it can be a bit slow to build a community. At this point, there really isn't a way to effectively blast out your message, but I don't see an issue in that. I think if you post good content on Tumblr, if you go follow other Tumblrs out there, they'll usually come follow you back, and that's a great way to sort of slowly but surely build the community. Another weakness is it can take a bit of time to set up. This example here that I'm showing you took several months and an agency to set up, but I'll show you an example here. The one on the lower right is my own Tumblr, Teal Brick. It only took me about an hour to set up. You know, it can take a little bit of time, but it's really easy. It's really turnkey to get it all set up, and Tumblr provides some great templates as far as designs that you can make for your Tumblr. A key insight is that new, unique content is king. The last thing you want to do is go launch a nice Tumblr page, post one day, and then wait weeks again to post. So really, consistent, unique content is going to be great and really to help you build that community on Tumblr. And then at launch, using other social platforms to direct traffic to your page is going to be important. Use your Facebook page, use your newsletter list, use your Twitter followers to come push stuff to Tumblr. And I think that really will kind of help grow a community there. Again, these are a couple examples. One's my own kind of hour-long attempt at setting up a Tumblr. I used it for some travel. The one up on the top left is actually our Veer account Tumblr, which is really great. It's veerideas.tumblr.com if you want to go follow it or go check it out. We have some really creative people putting content up there. But again, the Veer one was set up by an agency. It took a few months. But don't let that dissuade you, because Tumblr does have some great templates to use. Pinterest is another darling of the social community these days. It's got about 40 million users. It's currently very hot. They're touting it as a referral traffic generator, and in fact, recently someone gauged that it had more referral traffic generated than Google+, LinkedIn, and YouTube combined, which is pretty impressive. Those other platforms have been around for a long time. It's visually engaging. You can kind of see an example here of the Veer Pinterest page. You can go on and pin your own content. I tend to pin a lot more of other people's content. I tend to pin content from inside Pinterest rather than going outside of that. So weaknesses, there are some definite copyright questions around pinning content. Please read the terms of service. Our legal team was very reluctant to have Corbis be involved on Pinterest, and so I don't actually use Pinterest for Corbis. I do use it for Veer because we just have a different relationship with our contributors there. But definitely read the terms of service. It's kind of important to understand where Pinterest is coming from. Another weakness is there's no automation on Pinterest for daily activity, so I need to be on Pinterest a few times a day out there looking for content, pinning. It probably takes me, I don't know, half hour every day to kind of keep our Pinterest boards up and running. Another weakness is that the demographic of Pinterest may not be a great fit. It's about 80% female on Pinterest. If that's your demographic, then great. If not, it may be a platform that you don't really want to participate in quite yet. Some insights, we have about 360 followers of our Veer Pinterest board, which is pretty impressive. It's grown to that number in about 2 months. And I do see some referral traffic increasing each month back to the Veer website, which is great. So if we can increase that's going to be a win for the Veer brand. Google+, hoping everybody has heard about Google+. It's Google's foray into social. They've got about 500 million accounts set up with 135 million monthly users, which is pretty impressive. It is great for visual content. On the left here, you can see an example of a post that just includes a link, and it provides an okay little thumbnail here. But on the right, you can see an image that I uploaded directly to a post, and it does provide a nice, clean, good image there. So I think if you upload images directly to your post, it really does help. Google has, and I've talked to Google about this before, they're really using Google+ as the hub for the entire Google experience. It connects very well to all of their other products, whether that be Gmail, Google Search, Google Maps. They're really using this as the middle and the kernel of the entire Google experience. And I think you'll see a lot of developments coming up in the next year around that. And Google+ has a really growing photographer community. Photographers have really jumped on Google+. It's got a very clean user experience. As you can see, there's not a lot of ads cluttering it up. It does display images nicely, as you can see on the right there. So I think photographers are really going to take to Google+ really well. It's also really easy to sort of segment your communities on there. You can divide up friends, family, business relationships via Google Circles. So it's easy to sort of focus your communication efforts with Google+. Some of the weaknesses, no contests. They have not allowed us to put contest promotions or sweepstakes up yet. For a brand like Corbis, that's a bit of a hitch, but it may not be for an individual photographer. It is a bit male-dominated currently, about 60-40. Your friends and family might not be there quite yet. That could be a good thing. I know that Google+ I typically will use for more in a business and a networking sense, whereas I use Facebook as more of a friends and family communication tool. And then Google+ has kind of a low mobile user rate right now. In October, it was about 7 million Google+ mobile users to 91 million Facebook mobile users. A key insight about Google+ is that it can really help your search engine results. Google being the biggest search engine out there, they've really made that connection between Google+ and their Google search results. So you'll see Google+ posts and information showing up in your Google search results. So a good presence on Google+ can really help you help with your search results there. Instagram, I'm sure everybody has heard about Instagram lately. There's been quite a bit of buzz around it. It's got about 100 million users to date, 16.4 million weekly users, which is really pretty impressive for somewhat of a new platform. It's a great way to upload smartphone imagery to multiple social networks. It really does a good job of tying in to Facebook, to Twitter, to Flickr, and being able to share photography that way. For what it's worth, for sort of an amateur photographer like myself, it's got some great editing features, good cropping, you can apply filters. For professional photographers, that may not be something that's necessary. Weaknesses, it is owned by Facebook. Facebook bought it for $700 million last year, and things have changed a little bit with Instagram. A few weeks ago, there was a big uproar because basically Instagram came out and said, whatever image or content you post on Instagram, we can then use in our advertising without your permission or paying you anything. There was quite a bit of pushback on that, and in fact, the next day, their CEO completely reversed that statement, and they kind of went back on that. And so I would just encourage people to read their terms of service before you start posting anything there that you find of value. This is just my own personal Instagram account. On the left, you can see my mobile account. Recently, Instagram did go online and have online accounts. I really think their presentation is fairly elegant, and it looks pretty nice. So it is kind of a nice way to display photography. I'm going to go into advertising and social media a little bit. It's not something you have to do. It's becoming more and more part of what these platforms want you to do. They're trying to make money. Facebook is public. Twitter is about to go public. And so they're really pushing people to use their advertising platforms to help push content. And I think the sad side of that is you're seeing more and more just general content that doesn't have that promotional aspect applied to it kind of disappearing and get buried a little bit. But you don't have to spend a ton of money to get some good effects with that advertising on most of these social platforms. I'm going to cover three different of Facebook's advertising platforms. The first is the promoted post. So if you have a Facebook page, you can actually promote individual posts. It's pretty convenient. There's a little promote button here. You click on it, and this window will pop up. And you can actually choose to spend as little as $10 to promote a post. Facebook will display the estimated reach. Here it's 8.4 thousand to 15.6 thousand people. You can select here, are you going to promote this? Are you going to advertise this to people who like your page? Or people who like your page and their friends? I'll typically choose the second option because it's always nice to expand that out to a bigger audience than just people who like your page. Excuse me. You click promote post and you're off to the races. It's kind of nice. They do provide some analytics, some real-time analytics on how many clicks, what your click-through rate is, and how many people have seen the post. So that's actually really nice. They do provide that information during the promotional time. General Facebook ads are something that I don't use a ton of, but here I've provided an example from a local search agency, SEO Moz. These ads will appear on the right-hand side of your Facebook wall, and the nice thing about it is you can target them, you can keyword them, you can get them down focused pretty well, and you can set a daily budget. You can say, I want to spend $15 a day, I want to spend $500 a day. So you can cap that just to make sure you're not exceeding budgets. Sponsored stories is a really popular way to advertise on Facebook. Essentially, it will broadcast to people's friends an action that they've taken upon Facebook. So I used an example here of a couple of people within my Facebook network, my brothers in fact, liking a local roofing company. And then that roofing company served me up an ad and said, hey, Pete Spear and Tom Spear liked this. I think the nice thing about a sponsored story is it sort of says, it's not saying that this roofing company wants you to come interact with them. It's saying, hey, your two brothers like this. Why don't you come check it out? And so it'll provide sort of a nice background and a nice support from people that are within your network already. And so sponsored stories is a really great way. We use that quite often to promote different campaigns. Some key insights to advertising on Facebook. It's really easy to get started. You can, if you have a Facebook page, you can use your credit card and get started within 5 minutes. It takes a little while to kind of learn the ins and outs, but again, Facebook has a really robust help center. It has a really robust advertising center that'll help you get started and learn all the bells and whistles. Like I said before, targeting is available. You can target by keywords. You can target by interests. You can target by categories. And also they provide some great reporting so you can understand how your ads are working, what you can do to make them work better. Advertising on Twitter. As of yet, Twitter has only 2 different products out there, but they're both pretty effective. We've used both quite often in the past year. On the left here, you have promoted tweets. Really simply, that will promote an individual tweet out to not only your community, not only people that are following you, but people that don't follow you, which is kind of interesting. It kind of begs the question, should we be pushing those tweets out to people that don't even follow us? And I've had some pushback. I've had people say, hey, Corbis, I'm not following you. Why are you pushing that tweet out towards me? But I think it's becoming more and more known, more and more acceptable upon Twitter. Every promoted tweet is sort of designated by this little promoted by indicator here. And so I think it's just becoming kind of part of the platform and something that people are used to seeing. One thing I found with promoted tweets is we don't always push campaign or revenue generating tweets. I like to promote stuff that's just sort of helpful hints, like here I promoted a Corbis tutorial. So it's not always going to be come buy, come use this discount, come use this promotional code. I like to use other stuff that's just not as in your face and is more just kind of helpful tips. The other ad platform that they have is promoted accounts. If you're on your Twitter page and you're looking through your tweets here, on the left, you'll see this little box that says who to follow. These are all promoted accounts. These people have paid to be here in the hopes that I will come follow them. You can see Digital Camera HQ, you can see National Geographic, and so this has worked really well for Corbis to promote our Twitter account and to help us grow our Twitter account. Some key insights, getting started is really easy. If you've got $15,000, Twitter will get you signed up with an insertion order, but also self-service is a nice way to go. If you have 20 followers and a credit card, you can sign up within a few minutes and get started and start promoting your Twitter account. Again, targeting is available. You can target by keywords, you can target by interests, and an interesting feature of Twitter advertising is that you can target by your competitor. you can go find their Twitter account and you can serve ads to their followers, which very well may kind of bring them over to your side, if you will. And then they do have a nice analytics package available with Twitter advertising. It shows individual tweets and their effectiveness. It shows how your ad rates are going, and does provide some nice kind of graphical representation of different ad metrics. The tools of the trade, these are important. You can kind of see how many different social platforms I cover on a daily basis, and if I didn't have these tools, it would be nearly impossible. I'd be in the office 24 hours a day. So some of the free accounts that I use, Hootsuite. Actually, I use a paid version of Hootsuite, but there is a free version of Hootsuite. I'm going to do a Hootsuite demonstration here in a few minutes. Hootsuite is probably the most important tool that I use on a daily basis. It is open on my desktop the entire time I'm in the office. I use it for scheduling. I use it for monitoring what people are saying about Corbis out on the in all sorts of different social platforms. I use it for analytics. It has a nice little analytics package. So yeah, Hootsuite is awesome. If you have any social presence right now, go sign up for a Hootsuite package and use the free one to kind of get dialed in. I know that they limit you as far as how many social accounts you can sign up for it, but I want to say it's like 5, and so you should be able to get set up there fairly easily. Twitter Counter is just is a nice little website that'll show you how many people are following you on Twitter. It'll provide some forecasting on what they think your followers are going to be within the next 6 months. It'll provide some backdated information on what your followers were on a specific day. I'll kind of use it to see where we had a spike in followers and see maybe what did we do on that day to make that spike happen. Social Mention is a sentiment generator. You'll go on there and put your name or your brand in. It'll go out into the social sphere and pull back all sorts of results on what people are saying about you. Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it a neutral comment? The one thing here is that Social Mention will return a fire hose of information. You kind of have to dig through it to see to find the kind of the gems in there. But it's a nice little tool that I use to kind of gauge on what people are thinking about Corbis. Facebook Insights, I'll go into that, a demo on that in a minute here. It's a nice analytics package that Facebook provides to everybody that has a page. It provides some page metrics. It provides some metrics about who is liking your page. It provides some metrics on individual posts, which is really convenient, really nice to see what's effective. The Facebook Activity Log is fairly new. It is another way to schedule your Facebook posts. They launched it last year. It's really nice. There's a little clock icon within your post. You click on that and you can post content into the future. So if you're going to be out of town for 2 or 3 days, you've got some Facebook posts to put in there, you can jump on there, dial it in, and just not have to worry about it. TweetDeck is another nice free tool that I use. I use it more for my personal Twitter account, but it's nice. It'll also schedule tweets for you. It's a great way to monitor what people are saying about you on Twitter, and you can also post to Facebook there. So yeah, check out TweetDeck. Google Analytics, it is free, but it'll take a bit of a tech ask to get things set up. If you have a website, if you have a blog, if you have a Tumblr account, Google Analytics is a great way to monitor traffic. It does require some coding, so if you have a tech person to help you out, that's great. It's a little tricky to do yourself unless you're a coder or you know that sort of tech piece. Some subscription required tools that I use. Omniture is sort of the Ferrari of analytics of metrics packages out there. It's an Adobe product. It's a pretty steep price and a pretty steep ramp up as far as a tech ask. But I do use Omniture on a weekly basis to measure things on our social accounts. Simply Measured is a great tool. They happen to be a local Seattle company. Once you get your social presence set up and have let it run for 3 to 6 months, I would encourage everyone to jump on Simply Measured and use their free trial. They've got a 2-week free trial, and within that time you can pull dozens of reports that'll really help you know who your social following is, know who your communities are, and know kind of what you're doing right. So yeah, once you get it set up, don't do it at the launch. Do it after you've been set up and have been promoting and posting for a while. Use Simply Measured. Their free trial gives you some awesome reporting. And then SEO Moz is another local company here in Seattle. They do mostly search engine optimization, but they do have an awesome little tool called Follower Wonk that will really help you dial down very granular into your Twitter following. I use it. We do pay for it, but I do think they have a free trial as well. So once you get a nice, healthy Twitter community built, jump on SEO Moz, see if you can use the free trial to use Follower Wonk and look at your Twitter community. Okay, I'm going to jump into a demo here. Bear with me. We're going to look at Hootsuite. I think this is kind of cute. I had Hootsuite up for a while, and this is their mascot, the owl, and it's telling me I've been inactive for an hour and he's taking a nap, but you can just kind of wake him up here. So this is the Twitter kind of dashboard here, I'm sorry, the Hootsuite dashboard. I know it looks like a mess. I'm very used to looking at this, so for me it's like that code in the matrix. This is something I look at for a couple hours during the day for sure. You can see up here that we have all of our different social accounts. We've got Corbis Twitter, we've got Corbis Facebook, I've got Veer Twitter, Veer Facebook, some of our accounts from other companies. You can put up to 20 different accounts into your Hootsuite dashboard. And then I'm on our Twitter account right now, so our Corbis Twitter account, and you can see our home feed, which is all the tweets from people that we are following. You can see here the sent tweets. You can see what I've sent, which is really nice because then they'll let you know how many people have retweeted it. You can see pending tweets. This is everything that I have scheduled to go out today. So I've got one going out at 9:35. I've got another tweet going out at 10:45. This is really invaluable to me. It's huge that I can schedule these things out and then be able to see on one screen what's pending to go out and what has gone out. Here you can see a column that talks about who's mentioned us on Twitter. Looks like I mentioned us on Twitter earlier. I said just about to start a webinar for Corbis Images contributors. But this is a great way to talk about customer service or engage with your community on customer service. You know, all these people have mentioned the Corbis Images Twitter account during the day, and I can kind of scan through here and see if there's problems, see if people are giving us props, what have you. Some of the columns that I have set up are searches for Corbis on Twitter, for Corbis Images on Twitter, and for CorbisImages.com on Twitter, which is always nice to see. I can also see who's retweeted us, and then I can see our direct message inbox as well. So really, this Hootsuite platform will apply this same kind of logic, this same kind of setup to all your different social accounts. I can now look at Corbis Facebook. It'll provide a lot of the same thing. Here's our page feed. I can see who's posting to our wall. I can see what we've posted and how many people have kind of engaged with it. I can also see what's pending. I know that I have at 9:05 going out in 15 minutes a Facebook post about the anniversary of the London Underground, which is really nice. And then I have all of our different brands and all of our different platforms set up here. You probably won't have as many as I do, but use that Hootsuite free demo, set up your Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr accounts in here, and you're really able to see everything on one dashboard and on one platform, which really helps. You don't have to go open all of your different accounts at once. Like I said, Hootsuite also provides some decent analytics. They kind of have a quick analytics area. They have a custom analytics area where you can go set up some custom reports. But I can do a quick little look at what is Corbis Images doing for a date range. How did we do last month on Twitter? And it'll provide some nice stats for us. So how would I use this? This is clicks on our different tweets. And so I would go in here and say, hey, look, on December 18th, I had 516 clicks on one of our tweets. I think that means we're doing something right on that day. So I would go back in there and look at what we did. What did we do on the 18th of December to generate that many clicks? And you may want to kind of emulate that in your future content. It'll show you clicks by region. This is just kind of a nice little graph. You know, where am I getting clicks from? Looks like the U.S. is kind of leading here with Canada. It'll provide a nice little graph down here as well. And then where's our referral data coming from? That'll kind of help you know, as well. And then down here it'll go post by post and talk about where do I you know, where did I get the most clicks over the past month? Wow, it looks like this one post got 1,200 clicks. I mean, that's really impressive. I'd go back to that post and try to figure out what did we do right there. So Hootsuite will provide you some really nice analytics. They'll hook into Facebook Insights, which I'll cover here in a minute. It'll hook into Google Analytics. So really, I could honestly say I could really use Hootsuite as an entire package for everything and not really have to go into the individual accounts a ton. Our next demo is going to be around Facebook Insights. This is the Corbis Facebook page. To get into Insights, you just go up here to the Show button here and open your admin panel. Hope that it loads fairly quickly. Insights is this little middle box here. This is all free. Facebook doesn't charge for it. As long as you have a page and a community that's starting to be built, you can access this. So we'll open that up. It provides quite a bit of information for you. It provides a nice little graph here on your weekly total reach, on people talking about this, about how many total likes do you have, which is always kind of a nice number to know, and how much that's increased over the last week, another great thing to know. How many friends of fans are out there? How many friends are with these 24,000 fans that you have? It'll provide a little metric on people talking about this. People talking about this is Facebook's kind of new word for interactions. So how many people have interacted on your page and how many average people are interacting on your page in a day? Are they going on your page? Are they liking? Are they commenting? Are they sharing? And that's what Facebook is calling people talking about this. And then your weekly total reach. How many people are you reaching out there on a weekly basis? One thing I really like about Facebook Insights is that I haven't memorized all of their buzzwords, all of their things here. And so every once in a while I'll go, you know, what does friends of fans mean again? You can go up here to this little handy-dandy question mark, and they'll give you a nice little definition. On this next little tab, you can see likes by gender and age, by location, where your likes came from. Is it new likes? Are people unliking my page? Again, how would I use this? It looks like we had a nice little spike here on the 3rd of January. I had 25 new likes. I can go on there, I can look at my Facebook page and say, hey, you know what? This is what was effective on that day, and I wanted to do that again because it really helped to spike our likes. You may want to look at a day when you had a lot of unlikes. On the 14th of December, I had 7 unlikes. That seems to be a little higher than average. Did we do something on that day that our community didn't really get behind, or excuse me, didn't really like? Again, some other tabs. Reach and talking about this. Another couple of really useful tabs that you can get on here and check out. People talking about your page is going to be really important. It's how many people are on your page on a daily basis, and are they interacting with your content? Are they liking it? Are they commenting it? Are they sharing it? This is something you'll want to kind of look at. I look at it on a daily basis to make sure our average is staying high. This is going to be a main indicator of, are people on your page and are they liking what you're posting up there? So that is Facebook Insights in a nutshell. Jumping back on the PowerPoint, here's my recommendation slide. So, excuse me, pre-launch, do your research. You know you're doing it right now, which is great. But know what your goals are and find what platforms are going to work for you. Each of these platforms have strengths and weaknesses, which I kind of went through. But go on there and kind of figure out what's going to work best for you. Do you have the time that it takes to put a Tumblr account together? You know, do you have the time that it takes to tweet 2 or 3 times a day? So figure out what your goals are and then find the platforms that will work for you. You don't have to be on all of these platforms. Maybe just pick one of them and start using that and seeing what that one works best for you. What are your competitors doing? If you have competitors out there that you know, what are they using? You know, go check out their presence in social and see, you know, see how that can work for you or to your advantage. I like to promote Social Media Club. There's 350 plus chapters around the world. There should be one in your city. The Seattle chapter meets the last Tuesday of every month. It's a great place to go to have a beer, to have a glass of wine, to chat up people that are really immersed in social media. I found that even years ago when I knew nothing about social media and I would go to a club event, there were more than a few people that wanted to talk to me about social and how to get started and strategy and tactic and all of that. So Social Media Club, it's socialmediaclub.com. Go check them out. Go to a meeting and definitely pick people's brains a little bit. At launch, set up your accounts thoroughly and completely. Don't just go launch a Facebook page and then not put up a profile pic or a cover photo or completely fill out your about page. You really want that all of your accounts, whether it's Twitter or Tumblr or Facebook or what have you, set up thoroughly and completely. And then find some friends. Go out there and don't wait for people to come to you. You know, go out there and start creating a community by following people on Twitter, by liking people on Facebook, and go out there and be proactive about building that community. And then once you launch, email me. I'd love to help cross-promote contributor social efforts on the Corbis on the Corbis sites. We've got 25,000 people on Facebook. I can really help build your communities. I'm more than happy to retweet content. So we can do a blog story on you. We can do Facebook and Twitter mentions to help build that following. So once you're launched, or if you've already launched, shoot me an email. Let me know what your presence is out there. And then to sustain your efforts, I think I said it before, but content is king. Find that cadence that works for you, and make sure you get fresh content up there. It's important. Just make sure that page or that feed is updated on a regular basis. Like I said, be proactive. Go out and follow and like other people's efforts. Listen to your community. Once you get set up with something like Hootsuite, make sure you monitor your streams and see what people are saying about you. If somebody retweets you or mentions you, you should kind of be responding back. Same thing with somebody posting comments on your Facebook page. Go like their comment. Go respond to their comment. It's important to keep that kind of two-way communication going. And then test. You know, always kind of test new things. Test out new features. You know, see what's working for you. Test out different types of content and see what the reaction is. I provided you with a big list of tools. Use them. You know, there's more free tools out there than I can even cover in a day. You know, so go find ones that work for you. Use my list. I think it's a pretty good start there. And then I know analytics are somewhat daunting. Metrics are somewhat daunting, but use them. You know, go learn how to use them and learn more about your community. Learn more about the content that you're putting up there. It's going to be really important. I wanted to cover here briefly a Corbis contributor that I think is doing a really nice job in social, and that is Ryan Pyle. I'm hoping some of you out there know Ryan, but he's doing a great job. He's got a Facebook page that's been up for quite a while. He's got 105,000 likes, which is impressive. It's really impressive. You know, he posts up on Facebook a couple times a day. When he has time, I talked to him the other day. He says he does a lot of it via mobile, which is great. The question, or the nice thing that I like about what Ryan has done is that he's set up another Facebook page and separate Facebook pages for different events that he has. So he just did this Middle Kingdom ride. He and his brother rode motorcycles around India. There's a book out about it, but instead of including that on his main Facebook page, he branched out a little bit and established a separate Facebook page just for that particular event and just for that particular part of his work. And it's something that you can definitely do. Here's Ryan's Twitter feed. He does a great job here. He's got 6,600 followers, which is definitely impressive. He's up there. He's tweeting 2 or 3 times a day. And so go check out Ryan's efforts. I think he's done a really nice job of establishing a social presence